So what I wanted to talk to you a little bit, well, maybe I could tell a joke. Can I tell a joke first? Would that be okay? So all my jokes start with three guys. Aaron Bushman, my sound guy, my producer guy, my camera guy, my everything guy, has heard me speak a ton. So it's always three guys in my jokes. So there were three guys, and they all were like best friends, and they all got in a car accident on the California coastline. Boom. Next thing you know, he's standing in front of St. Peter. And the first guy, St. Peter, says, "Hey, welcome to heaven. How you guys doing?" They all say, "Great." And he goes up to the first guy, and he says to the first guy, he goes, "Hey, how many times have you ever been unfaithful in your relationship?" And the guy goes, "I've only been unfaithful twice." And he says, "Wow." He says, "That's pretty good." He says, "You know what you're going to get? You're going to get a compact-sized car." So the guy gets in his car, the gates open up, and he drives away. The next guy comes up, and St. Peter says, "How many times have you been unfaithful in your relationship?" And he goes, "I've only been unfaithful one time." And St. Peter goes, "Whoa, that's really good." And he goes, "You're going to get a mid-sized car." So the guy gets in his mid-sized car, and he gets up, and he drives away. Well, the third guy comes up, and St. Peter goes and asks him the same exact question. And he goes, and of course, proudly, he goes, "I've never been unfaithful." So he goes, "Wow, you get the luxury car." So about 2 weeks later, the guy in the compact car and the mid-sized car pull up to the guy in the luxury car, and he's crying. I mean, he's just crying over the steering wheel. And they look over at the guy, and they said, "Hey, what are you crying about? You got the house on the hill, you got that Camaro out there, you've got it all, right?" And he says, "What are you crying for?" And the guy says, "Well, I just saw my wife, and she was riding a skateboard." So anyway, I want to talk to you about the power of I am. And what follows these two simple words will determine what kind of life you live. So if you're using positive words like, "I am going to be successful. I am going to strive to be the best athlete I can. I am going to make a positive difference." Or you could say, "I am so unlucky. I am so tired. I am so lost in my thinking." The words coming out of your mouth will bring success or failure. You could say to yourself in the morning wonderful things about yourself, or you can say negative things about ourselves. Many times we use the power of I am against us. Here's the principle, okay? And I want you to, whatever follows the I am will come looking for you. So, I am clumsy. Clumsiness will come looking for you. I am old. Wrinkles will come looking for you. I am overweight. Calories will come and find you. Here's the good part, though. You get to choose the I am. I'm the fastest guy in the room. I am smart. I am capable. I am unique and different in a good way. If you tell yourself you're talented, if you tell yourself that you're smart, if you tell yourself that you're a hard worker, that you're important, that you're focused, that you're prosperous, I can assure you that you will be. These are my notes right here, my little thing here. I usually don't use them. All of a sudden, health, strength, discipline starts following you. When you think to yourself and you say, okay, words can be powerful, yes or no? Would you agree with that? If you tell yourself in the morning when you wake up, and the first thing you say is, I am so tired. I am so exhausted. I am whatever. that's how your entire day is going to start. But if you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm feeling energetic, I'm feeling great, I'm feeling strong, those things will also come and seek you out. When you tell yourself, I'm vibrant, I'm radiant, I'm renewed, I'm refreshed, and you say those things to yourself every single day, I guarantee you that those things will come in your life. Some of you have never even looked at yourselves in the mirror, and I never used to do this until about 15 years ago. I started, and somebody told me this, I started looking at myself in the mirror, and I started telling myself in quiet confidence, not out in front of people, but being humble and being by yourself and saying, listen, when you look at yourself, you can tell yourself, I am beautiful, I am special, I am wonderful, I am smart, I am confident. Sometimes we're so focused on our flaws and what we don't like about ourselves. And even women, where, you look at yourself and you say, I wish I had more here and less there. And I'm not pointing, but you know what I mean. The thing is that beauty and what you say about yourself will come forth, but you cannot start your day off by saying all these negative things to yourself when we wake up. We're so easy. You would never walk up to somebody and say bad things in front of their face, would you? Nobody would do that. But yet we have no problem saying it about ourselves. Think about it. We're constantly beating ourselves up. The power of the words that come out of your mouth can change your life forever if you just change the way that you think. I was at a friend's house, and he's a excavation guy who digs everywhere. He digs all over Colorado, and I was looking at this thing, and he had a full dinosaur and a fossil. He had this fossil dinosaur, and I went over there and I picked this thing up, and I'm not a big guy like this guy, but I had trouble picking this thing. I grabbed it and I'm picking it up. You probably could have picked it up with one arm, but I was picking it up, and it was heavy. It was heavy. I set it back down, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I go, is that pretty rare? And he goes, well, it is to find it on top of the ground, but if you had the right equipment, you could find them. And it was a full dinosaur, and I said, wow, this is really crazy. I said, how much is this thing worth? And he goes, about $250,000. Well, I set it back down, right? I didn't want any part of it. And I said, well, I said, is this really rare? And I said, this is really rare and expensive. And he said, yeah. And what I found unique about that is that it had so much value, and yes, it was kind of rare, but it wasn't super rare. What I find interesting is that there's only one of you in the world, only one of you. Nobody else has the same fingerprint. There's other people that look like you out in the world, but there's nobody like you. You're 1 in 6 billion plus, right? You're special. You're unique. I know sometimes it's hard to think about that, but it's the absolute truth. If you want to be the greatest athlete in the world, and you want to be the wide receiver or cornerback or whatever, and you want to be the best, you can be the best. Nothing can stop you. There was a guy, and he's heard this story before. His name was Roger Bannister. Has anybody ever heard that name before, Roger Bannister? So in 1954, he broke a very important record. So about, I don't know, humans have been around for a long, long time. I think we'd all agree with that, at least a couple of thousand years. So in that time of however long humans have been, for the longest time, science told everybody that it was impossible for the human design to ever run under 4 minutes in a mile. Okay? It was not possible. Science said it. Nobody had ever done it. And people have been around forever and ever and ever. Athletes from everywhere around the world, they've been around. Well, one guy, his name was Roger Bannister in 1954, said and woke up and said, I am the fastest man in the world. I am able to break this record. I am and will do it. So this is what he told himself. Well, he did it in 1954. So what, and here I'm going to tell you really, this is really, really cool, but what changed in the human body? In thousands and thousands of years, science said that we couldn't run under 4 minutes. It was impossible. It was an absolute impossible. But in 1954, man did it because he changed the way that his I am. And here's what I find so unique. 12,000 people since then have ran it underneath 4 minutes, and 300 to 400 of them are high school students. So did the body uniquely change metamorphically over the last 50 years or 60 years? Or did the mind change? Did his mind change? So how powerful is the mind? That one man believed that it could be done and he did it. Listen, when you're here serving guests, you should be the best at what you want, not because you have to, but because you can and because you want to. Because here's what's happened. When you're the best in guest service, when you're the best at what you do, not only does it get noticed, but listen, your mind changes. And when your mind changes that way, when you think you're the best, you just keep going up. It's just the way that it is. There's no way that one man could do it and that you can't take something from that. The wrong I am can keep you down. Don't discredit yourself. There was a story of a lady. This was way back. This was hundreds of years ago. And what happened was hundreds of years ago, if a lady couldn't provide a child for her husband, she was thought to be not, in the eyes of the public, she was thought to be like not of a good wife. And even though it was the man's fault and she couldn't produce a child, she was still thought of ill. So there was this lady named Sarai, and she was well out of her childbearing years, and she wanted to give her husband Abraham a child, and she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. Well, the guy that had the power, the king, was able to come down and he said, listen. He said, from now on, instead of Sarai, your name is going to be Sarah. Well, in that time, and in that language, Sarah meant princess. So now, every single day when she'd walk down the street, people would be saying, hey, Sarah. Hi, princess. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, princess. Pass the ketchup, Sarah. Pass the ketchup, princess. So she kept hearing princess over and over and over again in her mind. Well, what happens is she started to think like a princess. She started to talk like a princess. She even waved like a princess. When she started acting like this all the time, all of a sudden, she got pregnant. What happened was, and whether the story is true or not true, what happens is the power of I am and what you say out of your mouth will affect your eternity, will affect your success. Everybody, who in here doesn't want to be successful? Anybody? If you want to be successful, say I. I. Absolutely, we all want success. And not just in the financial aspects, but we want success in all facets of our life. But you have to change the mindset of who you are every day. I actually take out TV out of I don't even have TV in my house. I know it's a little weird in this day and age. We do watch movies though. But who loves commercials? Anybody? Nobody. No. I hate commercials, right? So, and here's the thing is when you put on TV and you're listening to TV, the thing about it is it's always this negative stuff. I actually find that when I'm in conversations, I'll actually hear people say negative things and I want to get away instantly. I want to move myself away. And Aaron will tell you, I'm the first person to just kind of get out because I don't want to be around it. I'm so tuned to all I want to do is encourage people. All I want to do is hopefully change the mindset of maybe a one or two individuals. And you know what? I've had a positive impact. I feel it's a privilege here to come and talk to you today. I really do. And I hope that maybe you'll change the I ams of what comes out of your mouth. I find that when you start having creative power and you start using creative words, you can bless your future. You really can. Or you can curse your future. I know that, words are like electricity. Used in a good way, it gives us light, it gives us water, it provides heat. But used in a bad way, it could actually harm you, hurt you, even kill you. Think about this. There's the story goes like this. So it was this guy who used to come to basketball. Does anybody play basketball in here? Anybody at all? Nobody? A couple people? So he used to go to the basketball day, and this is what he used to say all the time. He used to say, every time he missed a shot, he'd go, I'm an idiot, I'm an idiot, I'm an idiot. This is what he would say every time he missed a shot. And he used to think he was Jordan, so he'd always want the ball. So he was saying, I'm an idiot a lot. Well, he didn't realize, but I think idiot was coming to find him. I hate to say it, but I think it did find him. I know this isn't proper English, but if you say, I am so dumb, dumbness will find you. If you say, I am so unattractive, or I am so plain, ugliness says, I hear somebody calling my name. Listen, your words will either bless your future or it'll curse your future. I think you should talk about the way that you want to be. I think that that's really important. I think you should talk to yourself in your mind or in the car. I find that people think I'm crazy, but I'll be driving down the road singing myself. You know why? I know I'm not a good singer. I know that. But I love to sing. I don't know if anybody else loves to sing, but I love to sing. So I'm in my car. I don't sing out like in public, but there's a guy around in my neighborhood that sings and you can hear him, and he doesn't care. He's just singing away, and it's some old song or something. But I love to sing, so I'll be singing in my car. Why? Because I believe that it brings out an emotion in me that I really enjoy. So I do it. I think that you should encourage yourself every day to do those things that you want to do in the future. Do I need to sign this too?
We need to.
There was a student. The story goes like this. There was a student, and the guy walks up to the student, and he says, hey, listen. He says, how you doing today? And the student goes, hey, I'm doing great. And he goes, well, how's school? And he goes, I'm just an average student. I'm just a C student. And he said, and comes to find out that earlier in his years, a teacher told him that he was a C student. And he let that seed take root. If you call in the C's, you'll never be an A student. You'll come to, no matter what, C's will find you wherever you go. You'll get a C in homeroom. You'll get a C in lunch. You'll get a C in PE. I mean, the C's will be out there just calling you all the time. You have to change the I am. You have to say, I am smart. I am full of wisdom. I am a good learner. You have to get rid of the past lies that people have told you. You have to plant seeds of greatness in who you are. There was a story of a factory worker, and I think you're going to find this very unique and very interesting, is that this factory worker, when he was younger, and I'm sure the counselor didn't mean anything, but a counselor told him, he said, listen to me, you're not very smart, you're just kind of average. When you get out there out of high school, you need to find the lowest paying job that you can. And that's what he did. He got out of high school, he went and found the lowest paying job that he could, and he stayed there for years. Well, guess what? The factory closed down, and he went across town. And he found another job. And they said, listen, our policy here is that you have to take an IQ test. So he took one. When the results came back, he had scored the highest in the company's 62-year history. It came back at a genius level. He went on to create 2 patents, and he's very successful today. Somebody had told him something years ago, and he let it take root. But as soon as he found out that he was smart, he changed. Something changed in his mind. The I am changed. You have to get rid of those past lies that people have told you in your life. I challenge you today to strive in excellence when you're here, to strive in excellence when you're not here and when you're by yourself, to strive in excellence with your friends. Strive in yourselves. I feel very confident that everyone in this room has something great to offer. I might see him in the NFL. Maybe I see you. Maybe you're a famous kicker, right? Who knows? You can be whatever you really choose to be within yourselves. That's what's most important. And have that reflected outward. But it has to start with inside first. There's no way that it's going to start from the physical, the appearance-wise. It's from the heart. It comes from the soul. When you have a guest, if you can add a smile to their day, man, that goes a long way. And I hear just constant stories in all of Mark's stores. Constant stories. I think that Mark has done a great job in what he does. And I hope that I've been an encouragement today. I can't thank you enough for allowing me to come here and speak to you. And that I hope that you'll continue to strive in excellence. I do appreciate your time. I thank Mark for allowing me to come here. And I hope that you have a great and wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.